Well, in just over a week, the Harris campaign has enjoyed a major boost in both momentum and its war chest from an unlikely place. A series of massively successful grassroots Zoom calls that have combined to raise more than $15 million. And one of those calls, White Dudes for Harris, had no shortage of star power.
You've got to vote. You've got to vote.
As a white guy, it's easy to think these issues don't affect us directly, but that's exactly why we need to pay attention.
I'm white, I'm a dude, and I'm for Harris.
What a variety of whiteness we have here. We got the dude, we got Pete. It's like a rainbow of beige.
Here now, part of that rainbow of beige himself, actor Bradley Whitford. Thanks for coming on. What is your reaction to how successful these calls have been in raising money for Harris?
Well, I'm absolutely thrilled at all of the energy here for Kamala. I think she's the perfect candidate at the perfect moment. And I think the reason you're seeing this enthusiasm is because of the stark contrast between the opportunity for all Americans that Kamala's vision is all about, and Donald Trump's really dark vision that I think a lot of people know threatens to drag us back into the dustbin of history. I think she's the perfect messenger. I am deeply alarmed. I have always wanted men to speak out more about a woman's right to choose, and I think Kamala is the perfect messenger for this in the wake of the Dobbs decision. And I think that's a lot of the energy, that is behind all this. It's easy for us, obviously a talking point now, and it's absolutely true for the Democrats, is that they're weird, and they are weird. They want to get into our discussions, in between our discussions with our doctors. But more than that, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. And I think, in Texas, tens of thousands of rape victims in Texas do not have access to fundamental health care. And I think that's a lot of the energy here. And I'm really glad to hear men raising their voices in that particular area especially.
It's interesting that that's an issue for you that's really galvanizing. You are no stranger to this campaign. You have met Vice President Harris. You worked with Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff, right? Tell us more about that.
Yeah, I met Kamala at the Late Show, Stephen Colbert's show. She was delightful. She was wonderful. She did a beautiful interview with Adi Barkan, who is a healthcare advocate and a dear friend of mine, talking about when her mother was diagnosed with cancer and how important the access to healthcare is and how dangerous it is that the Republicans are trying to reduce our access to healthcare. The Second Gentleman is a blast. He's hilarious. And I got to talk with him a little bit about just democratic engagement, which I think is so important, and just getting out there and reminding people, especially now, we don't just get a democracy, we got to make it every day. And what I'm really concerned about is I want all of this energy to focus on the swing states. Joe Biden, we look at these polls every day. Joe Biden won the last election by 5 points. He won the Electoral College by 40,000 votes in the swing states. In my home state of Wisconsin, it was below 20,000. And so we really need to focus this energy for the long term on those swing states.
I'm wondering, going back to that call that you were on, what are your thoughts on the reports of the White Dudes for Harris X account being temporarily suspended following this call? And also some of the criticism. Fox News called this call the most beta gathering in history. What do you say?
The most what? Dated?
Beta. The most beta gathering in history.
Well, Fox News thinks that they were talking, I believe, yesterday about their if you vote for a woman, if a man votes for a woman, it's like you're transitioning. I mean, it's insane. It's gobbledygook. I was
I didn't know
thrilled to
that.
have yeah. Check it out. Um, uh, I was just thrilled to have another group that was enthusiastic about supporting this ticket, as enthusiastic as I am. You know, Elon Musk doesn't care about free speech, obviously. That was all a lie. And you know, Elon Musk is an example of, you know, the Republicans will reward the rich in this, and I think that's basically where Elon's coming from. So any threat to that, he will try and shut down.
I'm wondering what you think, though, just as you take a step back and look all the craziness around what's been happening with politics, right? I mean, this is something that it's almost like you can't make this stuff up. I'm wondering if it's giving you any nostalgia for when you were on the West Wing.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously the last week has been crazy, crazy writing. If this was on a show, no one would ever believe it. But I've always said the fakest thing about the West Wing was that we had rational Republicans. They weren't trying to drag us back and take our freedoms away. If I walked into the writer's room of the West Wing and pitched Project 2025 for our Republican to be running on, I would be kicked out of the room for being condescending to Republicans. So that's the thing that strikes me most, is the radical Christian right agenda that is being pushed by the Republicans. It's alarming. It's bad writing.
Really, really quick before you go, you weighed in on J.D. Vance's latest awkward moment. Speaking of weird, so what do you think about that? You weighed on in Twitter.
Yeah, I probably made some pejorative joke, and I'm, you know, probably not proud of it. I think you know, he's a huge hypocrite who clearly doesn't stand for anything. He referred to Donald Trump as Hitler, as an American Hitler. Now he's his running mate. You know, his attacks on childless people deeply offend me. That's an attack, by the way, not just on people who believe in what I believe. That's an attack on Jenny Thomas. It's cruel, and I am blessed with glorious children because of IVF, and I know the heartbreak of that process, and I think it's absolutely disgusting. It's all about division. That's the difference in this race. Trump is trying to fuel division and separateness, and I think Kamala is trying to bring us together, and that is the spectacular unfulfilled promise of this country, and that's why I'm so excited about her candidacy.
All right, Bradley Whitford, thank you for coming on to share your view of all of this taking place in the presidential race. We really appreciate your time.